Hi, I'm Lisa Ferrance, and today I'd like to talk with you about guilt versus shame. I think that a lot of people look at those words synonymously, and I think there are some fundamental differences. Although I would like to go on record as saying I don't believe that either emotion is particularly useful for us in terms of self-worth or self-esteem, nor do I think that shame or guilt are particularly motivating. But here's what I see as the fundamental difference. When we think about feelings of guilt, it usually connects to something that we've done. Whereas when we think about a sense of shame or we hold a feeling of shame, it really gets to the core of who I am as a human being. So when a client comes in and they're grappling with feelings of guilt, we can help them navigate and work through that emotion. And that can either take the form of apologizing, taking stock and personal inventory of what we've done, perhaps role playing with the client in session to see what they could have done differently. If it's appropriate and if it's emotionally safe, I think it's fine to invite our clients to go back to the person whom they have offended and to ask for forgiveness or to ask for an apology to be accepted. But when it comes to shame, what the client is really holding is a sense of being fundamentally flawed or damaged. And I think for many people who hold that emotion, it actually feels irreconcilable and intractable. So it is important to remember that shame is not something that will motivate us in any way to grow or to change our behavior, and that almost always shame is rooted in a series of cognitive distortions. And that could come from early childhood beliefs of the things that happened in my family were my fault, I should have done something to fix it or to change it or to stop it. So the ultimate goal when we're working with somebody who holds a feeling of shame is really to address those cognitive distortions. I think inviting curiosity about one's autobiography and opening up the possibility that what happened in the past was not something that they could control, particularly when that trauma occurred in early childhood. That becomes a very important piece of helping our clients move beyond that sense of shame. So we want to do the cognitive reframing, and we definitely want to introduce the concept of self-compassion. The more self-compassion clients can bring to their earlier experiences, the more likely they are to be able to move away from that core feeling of flawed or damaged and to begin to embrace the idea of their innocence and their inherent goodness. So keep in mind that it's just not useful for clients to go through life holding on to those feelings of shame. And in fact, when that translates into I am fundamentally flawed or bad, it's going to have a profound impact on the subsequent choices that our clients make, the relationships that they choose to be appropriate or inappropriate, the workplace environments that they put themselves into. Shame also is going to impact all of their subsequent emotions and cognitions. So it is crucially important that we work to help them let go of that emotion, to recognize that that core feeling of worthlessness was never accurate, and to begin to help them to find concrete objective evidence that speaks to their inherent goodness, both in childhood and currently in their adult life.